Give me some gum. Not a very polite phrase, but are you doing the same in your written word, be it in email or marketing copy? Many people aren't taking the time to consider their written tone as much as what they're trying to say. Welcome to Weekly Marketing Thoughts with CTG Intelligence, your weekly look at marketing, PR, and business development for your organization or your career. Hit that thumbs up button below and subscribe so you can see more content just like this. So back to that example. There's many ways in which we can write more coherently, but there's also many ways we can write with a better tone or more appropriate tone. If you think about it, tone's important because it's the expression of a brand or your own personal brand. It sets you apart, it builds trust, and it helps you to influence and persuade. So with that example, you could say, you wouldn't have any gum, would you? You could go a bit more direct and say, do you have some gum? And then, of course, you can just say, give me some gum. And I think everybody is on a spectrum. And it's important to think where you are, because there are mainly 4 positive tones that you can use in the written word, loads of negative tones, but some 4 positive ones: an honest tone, a friendly tone, a principled tone, and a deferential tone. And now I always like to say, if you don't know the appropriate tone, always on the side of deferential. You don't want to be a little bit too honest when the situation may cause a bit of friction. But overall, don't pretend to have values or a tone that you do not. So just as if your personal brand has not cared about free speech thus far, and suddenly it does, I mean, it could be a whole new direction, don't do the same with your tone. You have to consider, do you have a formal tone or a chatty tone? Do you have a detailed and detached tone, or do you have a warm tone? Perhaps you have more of a humorous tone, or perhaps you have a serious tone, a laid-back tone, or a lively tone. Now, having said that, it depends where you're using this written copy. So especially when you're trying to convince people to use your security service, be that your own ability to protect a principal, or perhaps your CISO protecting an organization. If you're posting on LinkedIn, yeah, okay, gone are the days where it was wholly professional, but it's not quite the place for a Twitter rant, and it's really not quite the place for you to do a TikTok dance. But having said that, if you are on TikTok, perhaps some of your written words could be very informal and jokey. Maybe you need some wonderful captions that are very informal. So it doesn't mean that your tone can't change according to your audience, but it really implies that you need to consider the platform you're on. Because really all you want to do with your written word is enact, engage, and stimulate. Now, I know there's that one colleague or that one boss that loves writing the one-liner emails, which gets the job done, but comes across as cold or more. But that's not doing them any favors. So let's think about how you communicate, both when you're asking for something and when you're trying to persuade people of things. We're fine when we are face-to-face, but especially in this environment, and in the last few years, the written word has become really important. Don't leave it to a copywriter. I mean, obviously, get a copywriter's experience, because a copywriter can really help you. But make sure that you're genuine. I like to say everyone is naked now, particularly in the security sphere, where you need to really make people trust what you're saying in order to get anything done. Think also culture. If, for example, you get an email from someone from the Netherlands, they have a very direct style and tone. They might say to you, this is not interesting for me, or this is of no interest for me. It's quite direct, and it grates on the English language ear, but don't retaliate. If you're unsure in that cultural situation, retaliate with kindness and deferential tones. If you're being emailed by a German and they've been immensely formal, Very, very, very structured and very, very formal. Be deferential. If you're not sure how to reply in German, be deferential. Use their titles that they've given to themselves. Nigeria, it's another example. Sometimes they can be very formal. Please accept the assurances of my highest esteem and consideration. That tone, it is very friendly, but it's very deferential and quite principled. So think of your audience, think of your platform, think where you need to go with your tone, be that just for operational emails or actually promoting your product. Because remember, your tone is an expression of your personal brand. It sets you apart, it builds trust, and it helps you influence and persuade people. So now more than ever, think, what tone do I have? A good tip for most marketing copy, is actually use a pen and paper and write it out, structure it, think what you're going to say. It's the same type of advice as think before you send that email. Having said that, find your personal style, think about the tone that you want to enact, and if in doubt, go for deferential. Just some little thoughts this week. I know it's been quite a testing time for a lot of people at home, so I have seen some very testing marketing copy. I'm sure that's not you, but please do think about where your voice lies or where you want your voice to lie. Anyway, thanks very much for your time this week. Please hit that thumbs up button below and click subscribe so you can see more content just like this. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.